What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another JBTV Illustrator tutorial. How's everybody doing? Guys, one of the best things that I've picked up on lately, I don't know why I haven't used this in the last 10 years, but it's been around for a long time. But now you can use it with the appearance palette and editable text, and it's amazing. It's something called graphic styles. Again, it's one of those awesome Illustrator things that you always say to yourself, why wasn't I using this 5 years ago? Or why, this, I'm going to show you today this cool effect, how to create right from scratch. But there's so many more applications for this, guys, for maybe creating die line cut contours around decals and so much more. So this is just the start of something really cool. Graphic styles, check it out. It's awesome. Hope you like this tutorial. Welcome back to another Adobe Illustrator tutorial. This one is going to be good. If you have never tried graphic styles, maybe you've been using Illustrator for years, you gotta check it out. Okay, here we go. The best way to learn this, guys, is to find an existing graphic style and dissect it and then recreate it. So that's what we're gonna do. We're actually gonna grab one that I've already created. I want to take a look. So we're kind of backwards teaching here, which I think is appropriate. So what I want you guys to do is, if you have downloaded a graphic style or if you've grabbed one off Free Pick or anything like that, I think that's a great starting point. Okay. So I'll actually leave this in the I'm going to leave a link for this where you guys can grab this graphic style itself. So here we go. All right, so the first way to dissect a graphic style is to go under Window and Appearance. Make sure you select it. And let's take a look at the breakdown of what's happening here. So under the Appearance menu really gives you a nice indication of all the layers happening within this one shape or one grouping of type here. Okay, so let's see what's happening. So on the bottom layer, and what I'd like to do is turn off each layer and just see what's happening. So let's start doing that. Okay, so then you can see that just the font itself with an effect and a color looks okay, but once you start adding these offset outlines, gives it the appearance of a lot of depth, maybe a cartoony style or illustrative style, or even I find that you'll see this a lot in package design. So it's really appropriate for that. So if you've never done this before, grab a graphic style that's already been done, break it down, and let's see how this works. For part 2, I wanted to show you guys that it's really important that in preferences in Illustrator, you should always check or just make sure if your computer crashes or whatever, if Illustrator crashes, anything like that. I love to go into Illustrator preferences and double check that your scale strokes and effects are selected. Okay, scale corners, yes, that's important. And not sure really what that one does, but these two are really important. And what that means is every time you size a shape up or down, that its outlines or strokes will proportionally change as you scale up or down. If you notice that you've got a shape that looks different when you scale it up, it could be because of that. All right, so guys, next step that I'm going to do, and this might be your first step, so let's just duplicate the artboard. And all I did there, by the way, is I'm holding Option and Shift on my keyboard, and I'm dragging the artboard over. So love that technique. I'm going to delete the style altogether. And let's type in the word strength. All right, so we're going to start. I'm going to check what font this is. I like what font they're using. It's interesting how a font that you see normally without the effects changes when you apply these graphic styles. Okay, so we're going to start right from scratch here. So this font is called Kubadek, and I believe you can find that at the font. I'm just going to size it up a little bit here. Command Shift and period on the keyboard is a really nice way to toggle up and down, or comma. I call them the Pac-Man keys, the bigger, smaller brackets, not sure what those are called. But anyways, you've got your word. Now the great thing about this, you guys, is it does not have to be an outline, okay? It does not have to be a shape. So once you create this effect, you can still edit it, which is really cool about graphic styles. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about graphic styles. Where can you find graphic styles? Graphic styles can be found under Window, Graphic Styles. Okay, now if you want to tuck that into your Properties palette, you can, or your palettes over on the right. I'm just going to hide my type tool. Now you can see there's already some existing graphic styles. So let's take a look at what those default graphic styles do. Pompadour. So that graphic style adds a cool little pattern, which is neat. And ooh, that makes me think of that show on Netflix. Forget the name of it. Anyways, not going to do that today. I'm just going to spin through there. Now, if you've never checked out any of these extra window palettes, check them out, okay? There's just so many things that you can't teach in 1 year, 5 years even. This program you could take 20 years to learn. There's just so much to do. So, but don't be intimidated by that. It's really great too. Okay, so let's go into Open Graphic Style Library. So you can see that Illustrator comes preloaded with some effects, and I'm going to show you how to edit maybe just a neon effect. Pretty simple. And so once you've created that effect, you can see how it goes into your graphic styles library. Okay. All right. So let's go back to our appearance palette. Okay. And I want to open that separate so I can get the full view. And you can actually see. So if you want to make one of these outlines thicker, okay, that's one of the lighter lines. Let's go to a darker line here. You can modify. So even if there's a graphic style preset that's in your system and you're not happy with it, you can go in and modify it. You can change colors so easily, right? So appearance palette, you guys, is very cool. Anyways, I'll let you guys figure that one out. All right. So that is where graphic styles can be located. Now, how do you save a graphic style? I'm just going to undo this. Go back a few steps. So let's say you've created maybe a simple effect. So I'm going to go back to 0 here. I'm going to create black. Let's go something colorful here. Let's go with this teal green type with no stroke. Okay, I'm going to take that off. Again, guys, you have a lot of control down here love using this zone of the toolbar. It's kind of my go-to spot. So anyways, simple piece of text, simple color, and let's add, just for fun, let's add a drop shadow. Okay. So you can make a graphic style of your own based on that. So I'm going to drag that into there. And then I'm going to create a square, and let's call this whatever. Let's just make it a default black and white rectangle. And I can click on my graphic style and turn that into the graphic style. So that's pretty cool. So that's how you create a graphic style. It's very drag and drop. And you can also save graphic style libraries. Okay, so I'll let you try that out on your own, and let's go to the next step. Okay guys, now that you know how to make a graphic style and you know how to dissect a graphic style, we're going to go to step 3. So I'm going to duplicate this artboard, and let's just get rid of that for now. Let's type in all caps strength. Oops. I can't spell today. There we go. All right, I'm going to tighten up that kerning tracking a little bit, make that a bit bigger. Okay guys, so let's start with opening up the appearance palette again, and let's start building our graphic style. Okay, now you can take a graphic style and just put it outside the artboard for reference. Okay. And I mean, you could easily enough take that graphic style, make a graphic style, and apply it to this, but I want to show you guys how to build from scratch, so this is how we're going to do it. So I can look at this and say, okay, well, I started with a warp arc lower, so I'm going to click and go to warp arc lower. Okay. Now with this, you have a lot of options to bend your type, distort your type into whatever you want. When I use this, I like to keep it really slight, so not a whole lot of movement here. Okay, so don't go too crazy. You want to just keep it maybe with underneath 10%. Okay, perfect. So let's okay that. All right, so now we've got our warp arc lower, and let's take a look at the other one. Okay, so next thing they have is a stroke of nothing, and now we add a fill. Okay, so we can do that. So we're going to add a stroke of none. And, oh, that's weird. All right, guys, for this next step, once you have created your warp, let's make a duplicate just in case something goes sideways here. So next thing we'll do, I'm going to zoom in a bit so you guys can see a bit better. We're going to take this and we're going to add a new fill. Okay. Now, if you go back to the original, it has this cool orange yellow fill, which I'll show you guys how to modify. If you go to your gradient control tool over here, it doesn't add a gradient, it gives you directional gradients. Okay, so you can change the direction of that gradient by just dragging your mouse across. So that's kind of cool, and you have lots of control even within that with the colors that allow you a lot of flexibility, but I'll let you guys experiment with that. Okay, so we've got our fill, we've got that kind of vertical gradient happening, and we're going to go back down here and we're going to add a new fill again. So let's see what happens. Now for this fill, let's just check what the original had. In the original, they had this orange to red, yellow to red gradient, and the next one they're using a purple fill. Okay, and we're going to talk about transform. So check this out. Okay, so let's go back here. We're going to turn this to purple. Nothing happens. Okay, that's pretty normal. So let's go to effects, distort and transform, and transform. Okay, this is where Illustrator becomes a really powerful program. Okay. Before the appearance palette came along and before all these upgrades to the software, you had to do this for every step of the way, and it was pretty tedious. So the appearance palette has fixed up a lot of those issues. So it's pretty awesome. Okay, so next step is let's do a little preview. Let's do a vertical. Okay, so you see what's happening there? Starting to get this shadow effect happening. And I believe they're creating copies in there, but let's cancel that and let's go see what they've done. So they've gone into transform. They've made 16 copies and they've done a vertical offset of 0.0058. So I can actually copy and paste that. Okay, let's try that out on ours. Select, double click. Oop. Sorry guys, let's just go there. Let's transform and paste. And let's type in 16. Okay, so you get that effect happening. All right, and let's go back to their effect. And pretty much everything else stays the same. Okay, on to our next step. So the next one is they create another fill with an offset path. Okay, we're going to talk about that next. So let's create another fill. We're going to make that black. Actually, hold on. I think we're going to duplicate that. And we're going to make that black. Okay. And I'm going to show you how to make the next adjustment. So let's go here. Let's dissect this. So offset and transform. So now they've done an offset. An offset is awesome as well. So take a look at this. I've done a 0.1583. Let's copy that. Round and 4. That's important. Okay, that's really important. So select that. Whoops. Let's create our where are you? Where are you? Offset. Where is offset? Offset path. Okay, here we go. All right, so we're going to paste that in. I'm going to go to round and do that. So you can see that effect starting to come along pretty nicely. Let's double check the transform option. Okay, transform. You can see that it is the same. So everything is coming along quite nicely, and we'll go to the next step. Okay guys, one thing I forgot to check on the last one was how many steps they were taking with their transform. So I forgot to modify this to 22 copies, okay? 22, so that's going to make it move a little bit. And next step, again, once you've done that, you're going to drag this layer and duplicate it. Okay, so that makes a duplicate. So let's close some of this up just to keep things clean. Now, I'm going to do this without looking at theirs, just so you guys can see what's happening here. So if I make an adjustment, so let's type in our own now, 0.234. I can't remember what their number was. Round again. Something like that. And we're going to OK that. And let's check their sequence. So they're going purple, black, purple, black. Okay, we've got to make a fix here. Purple, black, purple. Okay, let's move that. All right, we're getting there, guys. One great thing about this, you guys, whatever the original was, you can create your own graphic style, and it might even look better than the original, or make it your own, or whatever. You know, there's just so many things you can do with this. All right, let's duplicate that again. Oops. This one be a little tricky when you drag it. It might not actually duplicate, so just be careful with that. And we're going to make that black. We're going to make a... here we go. Let's just double check this. So they're going to offset 2.15. And they're going to transform 0.058. Okay. Oh, and they've got 66 copies on that one. Okay, so let's check that one out. Let's go to our transform. Sorry if this is a little confusing, guys. It's coming along pretty good, I'd have to say. I think I'm using a different purple, but you can go and modify that easily enough. There we go. And I think we have to add one more color, which is our duplicated black. So let's select that. Let's drag that layer down. And let's see how they built that gray shadow effect. So if you go here, again, I'm toggling back and forth, guys. If you're getting a bit confused, that's okay. Ah, they changed the opacity. Look at that. So that gives you some even more added effects within this one shape. This is just one shape, guys. So that is very cool. Okay, so let's go to opacity. Let's change that up to about a 72, I believe they had. And something like that. Now, we're not seeing that because of our transform options are different. So let's double check, see what they had. Oh, they had 27% and a transform of 99 with the same vertical change. Okay, so let's do that. 27. I know you guys are watching this video going, Mr. B, what is up, JB? I know. Okay, why didn't that change? All right, because we didn't put our transform in, right? So let's make that 99. Ooh, there we go. There is a shadow. Look at that. That is cool. Okay, so there you go, guys. I'm going to make a modification in my... Let's make a modification in the gradient. I'm going to use... Yeah, it's not so red and punchy. There we go. That's better. So, love it. Love this effect, guys. You can change color sequences. I'll do that right now. So if you're working on something else and you're not loving this color sequence for a certain design, you can change it up so easily. It's unbelievable. So there you go. You can apply your different warp effects. And this is all once you have it designed. So, you know, it doesn't get any better than that, and I can still edit this. So if you want to use this for a logo design, maybe for a crossfit, but then you find, well, there's too much stuff going on here. You've got too many layers, or you've got too much effects, you can turn them off. Add or modify. So there you go, guys. Hope you like this tutorial. Don't forget to hit the like button and check in for more tutorials later. Bye for now.